Before we celebrate 65 years of Temple Emmanuel with photos and memories, I would like to thank 5 people. Barbara Peltz, Sisterhood Program Chair, for suggesting a Zoom presentation to celebrate 65 years of Temple. David Steinbach for putting the photos into a PowerPoint. Susan Mizell and Susan Simon, Sisterhood Presidents, for their guidance and encouragement. And Bob Mizell for tech help. During the presentation, chats will only go to Bob. There will be time at the end to ask questions and make comments. We ask everyone to remain muted until we open up for questions. The session will be recorded. Let's begin the celebration. Temple Emmanuel is worth celebrating, and 2021 is the perfect year to celebrate. Temple Emmanuel will be 65 years old in March. Let's look back to 1956 in Sarasota, the year Temple Emmanuel was founded. In 1956, there were 500 Jewish people living in Sarasota, Manatee. This photo, taken at the Lido Beach Casino, was a popular Sarasota destination for all sorts of activities from 1940 until it was torn down in 1969. The casino was on 2 acres with 1,300 feet of beach frontage. There were cabanas on either side of the main building. Many local Jewish residents rented the cabanas, such as the Schoenberg family pictured here. Pauline Schoenberg, pictured on the right, is a current member of Temple Emmanuel. Sarasota Manatee population ballooned from 51,000 in 1950 to 73,000 in 1956. Housing developments replaced citrus groves and cattle pastures. This photo, taken in downtown Sarasota in 1954 at the intersection of Main, Pineapple, and Central, known as 5 Points, is now a roundabout. The building in the back center is City Hall, which is now Bayfront Park. In the back left is the Orange Blossom Hotel, which is now the Orange Blossom Tower condos. In the back right is the Sarasota Hotel, which is now the Palm Tower building, a multi-story historic office building. The sports shop on the front right is now First Watch. 2 shopping centers made their debut in Sarasota in 1955, the Ringling Shopping Center on Ringling and Lime, and Southgate Shopping Center on Bee Ridge and 41. Sarasota has changed quite a bit in 65 years. This is the Sarasota Women's Club, which was built in 1915. Today, this building is Florida Studio Theater. From 1956 until 1961, Temple Emmanuel held services and meetings at the Women's Club. Lay leaders, retired rabbis, and visiting rabbis led the services. Temple Emmanuel is Sarasota's 2nd synagogue. Temple Beth Shalom, now a conservative synagogue, was formed in 1927. Temple Beth Shalom held services in the Women's Club in 1927 until Temple Beth Shalom built their synagogue on the corner of Washington Boulevard and 6th Street in 1928. In March 1956, 9 men met to organize a Reform synagogue in Sarasota at the home of Benjamin Eisenstein. In 1957, the Temple Emmanuel Board of Trustees voted to purchase 4.6 acres on McIntosh Road for $1,000. At that time, it was an orange grove. Who owned that orange grove is a mystery. In 1960, ground was broken to build the synagogue. Marvin Gross, a current Temple member who has been a member longer than anyone else and a past president, was instrumental in securing the land. Marvin Gross owned Marvin's Gardens, a plant nursery behind the temple when the temple was built. Marvin Gross sold his nursery in about 1988, which he had started in the late 1950s. When Temple bought the property, Smalley, Welford, and Alvin, an engineering firm, was located on McIntosh adjacent to the Temple's property. Today, that property is owned by a local realtor and rented to a preschool. At one point, Temple Emmanuel considered purchasing the building, but Temple opted to just buy only a piece of the property to have a pathway on the north side of the campus to get from the Temple parking lot to McIntosh. The Temple Emmanuel building dedication took place on April 23rd, 1961. Rabbi Bernard Schoder of Temple Beth Shalom gave the invocation. Rabbi David Susskind of Temple Bethel of St. Petersburg gave the consecration address. The building had big glass windows. You could see peacocks roaming the temple grounds when you looked out the windows. In 1962, William and Malvine Cohen donated money for a few portable buildings for the religious school classrooms. In 1966, the main building was enlarged with a rabbi study, office, and restrooms, and there was a dedication in 1967. In 1976, the social hall and kitchen were built and dedicated. In 1979, the religious school was built and there was a dedication. In 1981, there were renovations to the social hall and a rededication. In 2000, there was major remodeling with a new entry, bigger lobby, new Ophir library, new sanctuary doors, remodeled conference room, and a front stone marker. Dedication 2000 celebration took place in 1999. Isaac Azarad designed the 10 Commandment logo that appeared on the sign in front of the synagogue in this photo. Before this sign was in front of our synagogue, there was a statue of Job in front of the synagogue. The Job statue was dedicated in 1978. Today in front of our synagogue is a Star of David designed by Paula Murray that made its debut as our logo in January 2019. The tagline, "You belong here," was also introduced that month. Rabbi Meyer Marks was installed as Temple Emmanuel's first full-time rabbi on September 6, 1963. In this photo are Rabbi Marks and his wife Marjorie. Rabbi Marks had the honor of lighting one of the candles at the Temple Emmanuel 25th Silver Ball celebration. Meyer and Marjorie moved to Ohio in 1965 and returned to Sarasota in the mid-1970s to retire. At age 103, Marjorie is the oldest Temple Emmanuel member. Temple Emmanuel has had 11 full-time rabbis: Rabbi Meyer Marks, Rabbi Herbert Weiss, Rabbi Aaron Ofer, Rabbi Peter Hyman, Rabbi Louis Bogage, Rabbi Marla Feldman, Rabbi Cyrus Arfa, Rabbi Andrew Bossoff, Rabbi Howard Simon, Rabbi Brenner Glickman, and
Yay.
Rabbi Michael Sheffrin.
Woohoo!
Here is Rabbi Aaron Ofer with his wife Irene in 1983. Rabbi Ofer was Temple Emmanuel rabbi from 1973 until 1986. The temple grew rapidly with Rabbi Ofer. In 1977, there were 380 family units. In the mid-1980s, there were about 600 family units. In 1991, Temple Sinai, a Reform synagogue with a religious school, was formed in Sarasota. In 2002, there were only 320 family units at Temple Emmanuel, and it kept decreasing until 2006, when membership began to increase with Rabbi Brenner Glickman. Today, we are over 600 family units. Yay! Rabbi Peter Hyman is pictured here with his wife at the 1983 Temple Emmanuel Silver Ball. Rabbi Hyman was our temple's youngest male rabbi when he was installed as assistant rabbi before age 30. The silver ball celebrating the 25th birthday of Temple Emmanuel was held when Temple Emmanuel was 27 years old. In 1985, Sarasota Manatee's first female rabbi, Rabbi Marla Feldman, was hired at it was either 26 or age 27. She's in the back row with the tallies, and this was a 1987 photo, and she's been the executive director of Women of Reformed Judaism since 2012. This photo of Rabbi Andrew Bossoff on the right with Rabbi Ofer was taken about the year around 2000. Rabbi Bossoff is now living in the Chicago area. Sometime between serving as our rabbi and moving to Chicago at age 48, Rabbi Bossoff was in need of a kidney donor. Methodist pastor Reverend Karen Onesti, then 50, gave her left kidney to Rabbi Bossoff in 2007. They appeared on Good Morning America. Today, they are both leading healthy lives. Many rabbis made Sarasota their home upon retirement, and I wish I had time to mention all of them, but I don't. And several became involved at local congregations. Rabbi Carl Richter, on the right, spent his sabbatical leave in Sarasota and eventually retired on Lido Key. Herbert Bisuk, on the left, was Temple Emmanuel president, and here he is welcoming Rabbi Richter in this 1988 photo. This photo, taken in the early 1980s, gives a glimpse of the Temple Emmanuel lobby. Kurt and Julia Lowenstern, both wearing glasses, are in the back, and Kathy Louie and Ezra Reagan are in the front. Kurt was one of only 2 temple presidents to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. The other was Leon Baroth. The big mystery is who was the first president of Temple Emmanuel. Anyone who can solve it, please help me, because I really tried and I couldn't figure it out. I found a 1966 article in the Sarasota Herald Tribune that listed Herman Katz as the first president. I looked in the 25th Gala and 50th Gala programs. Herman Katz is listed as the first president. However, the plaque in the Temple Emmanuel lobby has Joseph Leonard listed as the first president and Herman Katz listed as the second president. This is Julia Lowenstern, Temple Emmanuel librarian in the late 1980s when the library was located in what is now the Religious School Youth Lounge in memory of Rhea Klein. In 2000, the library moved to the main building where it is today. The first Temple Emmanuel librarian was Minnie Eisenstein. Librarians over the years include Joyce Spar, Helene Rosenberg, Eleanor Wax, Roz Lieberman. The library is open Fridays before and after services. Ruth and Harry Sudikoff appear in this 1983 photo. They were well-known philanthropists in the Sarasota community. In 1976, the Sudikoff Social Hall at Temple Emmanuel was named in their honor. And in 1981, Sudikoff Hall was rededicated after extensive renovations. In 2014, the Social Hall was renamed Benderson Family Hall and a dedication was held. Temple Emmanuel Brotherhood commissioned Frank Aliscu to create a Tree of Life sculpture for the Social Hall in memory of Morris Silverman, former Temple officer. Aliscu, creator of the Heisman Football Trophy, lived on Siesta Key. The Tree of Life sculpture was dedicated in 1982. The 4 stained glass windows in Sudikoff Hall given by Sisterhood were dedicated in 1983. And you could see in the background the Tree of Life, and you could see the windows in the background, the stained glass windows. This 1990 photo was taken at Erica Pede's Bat Mitzvah party. In 1946, Sid and Annie Solomon moved to Siesta Key and eventually joined Temple Emanu-El. Sid is in this 1989 photo. Before Temple Emanu-El had a religious school building, the school met in his art studio. In the 1960s, Sid's reputation reached a high point, and he was being shown at many of the finest museums in the world. In this 1979 photo, Temple Emanu-El president Arthur Letterman toasted Helen Lazarus at the religious school dedication. The Paul and Helen Lazarus School Center provided classrooms, principal's office, youth lounge, kitchen, and assembly hall. The architect for the building was George Palermo. In the late 1980s, the back portion of the assembly hall was converted into 2 more classrooms. The first religious school principal was Ralph Wallman. More religious school principals include Helen Newman, Helena Ozer, Nancy Bossoff, and Harvey Purler. Sabrina Silverberg has been the director of education, formerly known as principal, since 2001. Many Temple members have taught and volunteered in the religious school. Numerous life cycle events have taken place on the Temple Emanu-El Bima, such as baby namings, weddings, funerals, and more. Here, Cantor Asher is standing with Mara Scheintel as she prepares for her 1990 Bat Mitzvah. The first confirmation class at Temple Emanu-El took place in 1961. The first Bar Mitzvah was for Donald Wallman in 1962. The first Bat Mitzvah was for Lynn Cohn in 1963. Just as the people featured on the Bima changed, the things in the sanctuary changed too. Look at the windows on the left in this photo. Today, our sanctuary has beautiful stained glass windows designed by Brenda Alsam of Masterworks. The stained glass windows were originally installed in the 1990s. The pews have changed too. From 1961 through 1976, before the temple building had a social hall, there were chairs or pews that were made to be easily moved to accommodate social gatherings inside the actual sanctuary. During the pandemic, life cycle events are different. Our Torah scrolls traveled to 2 homes of members in 2020. Gabe Yamada had a bar mitzvah in his home via Zoom. And in August, that was in August 2020, and Mia Amder had her bat mitzvah in her home via Zoom in October 2020. This photo, taken about 1990, shows Evelyn Asher teaching students at Temple Emanu-El. Cantor Asher and his wife Evelyn retired to Sarasota from Detroit, but retirement didn't last long. Both taught Hebrew school at Temple Emanu-El. The religious school, now known as Tiers, has had many activities over the year, such as yearbooks in the late 1980s, Grandparents' Day in 2019, Purim carnivals, Hanukkah dinners, consecrations, and the ever popular shekel store. Our religious school teachers have been devoted and creative. Currently, classes are held via Zoom, but Sabrina and her staff have been creative with outdoor activities this past year, such as the Sukkot scavenger hunt, in which families drove around town solving clues and taking photos. Temple Emanu-El established a preschool in 1979. Suzanne Gellens, pictured here in 1990, was the first preschool director. Suzanne moved to Tampa in 1996 and continued her profession with children at the Florida Association for the Education of Young Children. Temple Emanu-El Preschool started with help from Temple member Tabi Levitt and Irene Ofer, wife of Rabbi Aaron Ofer. In this 1984 photo, preschool parents Julie Rosen and Tabi Levitt and that's Julie on the left and Toby on the right, prepared food in the preschool kitchen. After Suzanne Gellens, Nancy Bossoff served as preschool director. Vivian Michelle served as co-director for a short time. Temple member Faith Lipton also served as co-director in the early years. Temple members Cheryl Parnes, Sabrina Silverberg, Helena Ozer, and Beth Moore taught in the preschool in the early years. Parent volunteers were an important asset of the preschool. In 2017, the Early Learning Center became the Susan Schwade Early Learning Center in memory of Temple member Harvey Schwade's wife. Elaine Chirac, current Early Learning Center director, has worked at the school over 30 years. One added bonus in recent years has been the ELC summer camp program. Leonard and Helen Rothman, they're on the right, moved to Sarasota in 1960. In 1964, they opened Leonard's of Sarasota, a bakery and catering service known for Jewish-style food. They owned and operated Leonard's until 1988. They were active Temple Emmanuel members who catered many events held at Temple Emmanuel. And currently, Temple member Michael Lauber does most of the Temple catering, such as the popular Shabbat to-go meals. Wild Acres in Little Switzerland, North Carolina, welcomed the Temple Emmanuel members in 1982 by bus for a retreat. Wild Acres Retreat, a conference center, offers its facilities to groups conducting educational or cultural programs. The tall man in the front row is Rabbi Aaron Ofer. There have been 2 Israel trips for Temple Emmanuel members, and members are looking forward to planning another trip to Israel. Each year, the Brotherhood builds a sukkah between the religious school and the temple office. This photo of the sukkah was taken around 1988. The sukkah is not the only outside structure that has appeared on the campus. There used to be a gazebo that was donated by TSAC, capital T, capital E, capital S, capital A, capital C, Temple Emmanuel Social Action Club. The gazebo was located between the main parking lot and the temple office. The gazebo was torn down in 2015 when the new office wing was built. There's the temple playground that has had 3 major upgrades over the years. Years ago, you could circle around the back by the playground with your car, but now that back way is blocked with gates. Temple Emmanuel is growing fast. Soon, a big storage shed will be added to the campus. Temple Emmanuel has made a wide impact in the Sarasota Manatee community, often partnering with the Jewish Federation, JFCS, local synagogues, churches, retirement homes, and numerous other organizations. This photo is just one example. In 1991, Temple Emmanuel invited Chabad of Sarasota and Temple Beth Shalom students for an Israel Independence Day celebration featuring Jewish war veterans. Temple Emmanuel continues each year to host Veterans Shabbat to honor Jewish war veterans, chaired by Ethel Gross and Betty Crane, and has developed many other community-wide services and activities, including Mitzvah Day, a tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and the Starfish Initiative to help underprivileged school children. In 2006, Rabbi Brenner Glickman was hired as the rabbi for Temple Emmanuel. This is a 2010 photo from the Leanna Scheintel and John Bryant wedding officiated by Rabbi Glickman. Bill Wagey is the videographer in the background. Bill was the videographer for the 2020 High Holiday services featured on live stream. Leanna is the only Temple member who went to Temple Emmanuel Preschool, attended Temple Emmanuel Religious School, had a bat mitzvah and confirmation at Temple Emmanuel, and was married by a Temple Emmanuel rabbi. In addition, she has a child and nephews currently enrolled in the religious school, 2 children and nephews who went to the Temple Emmanuel Early Learning Center, and all 4 of her grandparents Both parents, her aunt, uncle, sister, and nephews have been Temple Emmanuel members, plus her cousin teaches at the religious school. Is that a plug for my family or what? Paul Rubens, also known as Pee Wee Herman, is pictured in this 1990 photo. He was confirmed at Temple Emmanuel when he was known as Paul Rubenfeld. Back in the 1980s, there were confirmation class photos hanging in the hallways of our religious school. At that time, you could see Paul Rubenfeld's picture with his confirmation class. This photo is from the collection of the Jewish Museum of Florida, originated by Marcia Jo Zarevitz, founding executive director. In 1997, Jerry Springer bought a home on Bird Key in Sarasota. He has attended high holiday services at Temple Emmanuel. Here is Jerry Springer in the middle. And this is a 2008 photo when he spoke at the Jewish Federation Impact Luncheon. Our rabbis and volunteers are great about getting noticed beyond the Temple Emmanuel grounds. This 2012 picture shows Rabbi Glickman serving as one of the celebrity bartenders at the celebrity bartending event at the Polo Grill in Lakewood Ranch. Rabbi Glickman is the one in the back, standing on a chair, towering over all the others. As often shown in the local media, Temple Emmanuel eagerly participates in Jewish Federation events celebrating Israel, collects food for the All Faiths Food Bank, supports Florida Resurrection House, and encourages our B'nai Mitzvah students to perform mitzvot in the community. A week, probably even a day, does not go by without Temple Emmanuel appearing in the newspaper and or television for their community involvement, volunteerism, and or holiday spirit. Thank you, Rabbi Elaine. This photo shows the original Temple Emmanuel office ring that was added to the Temple campus in the mid-1960s. This 2014 photo was the last photo taken of this office wing before it was demolished. So much memorabilia has been stored in the closets around our campus. There are Temple Emmanuel bulletins, whose name was changed to Temple Times in April 2018. There are name badges for each member filed in boxes made by Steve Weinberger. There are white choir robes. In the past, there were blue choir robes. The items often move from one closet or building to another. About 10 years ago, Rini Gold found a silver menorah in a temple supply closet, and our temple restored it. It is of Polish origin, and the temple members think it's from the 19th century. But how it survived World War II and came to Temple Emmanuel is a mystery. Ever since Rini found that menorah, Temple Emmanuel rabbis light that menorah each year at the Hanukkah Shabbat services. This 2015 photo was taken shortly after the current office wing was built. The new office wing was designed by architect David Horvath of Benderson Development, with 2 conference rooms, 2 storage closets, a reception desk, Rabbi Brenner Glickman's office, bookkeeper office, and an office for the executive director. In 2016, yay, an office was enclosed for Rabbi Michael Sheffrin. In addition to our rabbis, religious school directors, and early learning center directors, there have been many more staff members who served as teachers, executive directors, office administrators, bookkeepers, controllers, choir directors, custodians, facility managers, kitchen managers, and more. This is a 2014 photo during sanctuary renovations. The room looks empty without pews, ark, Torahs, eternal light, yahrzeit memorial boards, prayer books, organ, and flags. Each item has a history. Temple's first Torah was donated by Herman Katz, our first president. Temple's oldest Torah is on loan from a London nonprofit group at Westminster Synagogue that saves scrolls that were rescued from Czechoslovakia after the Holocaust. The temple's Torahs were repaired in 2018, Go Marion Raup, by the Ritual Committee volunteers. The Eternal Light and Ark doors were designed by Ann Anshin, an accomplished painter. In 2014, the Ark doors had major updates by Mark Brissy of Elite Woodwork. Temple member Ron Kleinman headed a design committee to restore the Ark, and Marty Arch headed the fundraising aspect. The stained glass over the sanctuary entrance was designed by glass artist Lauren Schumann. The current organ was installed about 1997 after Cynthia Roberts Green, music director, was hired. There are beautiful glass plaques in the lobby thanking our founders, our donors, and commemorating our past presidents and former rabbis. In about 2017, artist Madar Livni did a custom painting for our lobby with the words, "And you shall love your neighbor as yourself," written in Hebrew. Here is a 2018 sanctuary photo filled with people. Many times this sanctuary is so full that the partition in the back is open for people to sit in the social hall. An overhead screen is then used so that people seated in the social hall get a good view of the bema. Often our school building is filled with people too. Each temple member, guest, staff person, and each teacher at Tears and at the Early Learning Center has Temple Emmanuel memories. So much to celebrate in 65 years. I think it's time for a commercial here. Desperate for a Sisterhood cookbook? Looking for a mezuzah, menorah, Seder plate, Kiddush cup, candlesticks, and more? Then the Temple Emmanuel Sisterhood gift shop, managed by Sisterhood member and Vice President Alice Kottman, on the right in this 2017 photo, is the place to go. The Sisterhood gift shop was beautifully remodeled in 2014, showcasing the Judaica beautifully. It is open every Friday evening before and after services for special events and by appointment. Prior to Alice taking over the shop in 2008, it was managed by Rona Simon. 100% of the proceeds go to the religious school. This 2014 photo was taken shortly after major renovations were made in the social hall kitchen. These members enjoyed being together to polish the Torah crowns and plates. Temple is grateful for the hundreds of volunteers over the last 65 years who have made phone calls, written notes, baked, given lectures, taught classes, sang in the choir, visited the homebound, performed in skits, greeted at services, distributed name badges, helped in the office, decorated, cleaned, offered tech support, hosted events in their homes, and more. There have been volunteers who have helped in the classrooms, office, gift shop, on the outside temple grounds, and in the local community. There are members who have generously donated money. Volunteers have formed groups for knitters, mahjong players, writers, and more. There are book and movie groups. Temple Emmanuel has many business partners in our community. There have been volunteers who served as temple board members, sisterhood board members, brotherhood board members, committee chairs, committee members, and more. This 2018 photo shows a Shabbat service and dinner at Siesta Key Beach. This gathering is just one of many more gatherings that Temple Emmanuel members have had together since 1956. Years ago, Friday services began at 8 p.m., and that changed to 7:30 p.m. Family services were held earlier, but in recent years, all services have been set to begin at 7:15 for uniformity. Today, Temple Emmanuel has a full calendar of not only Shabbat and Havdalah services, there are life cycle events, holiday celebrations, honoree events, sing-alongs, dedications, rummage sales, lunch with the rabbis, Torah studies, and much more. Let's look at a photo of our two charismatic full-time rabbis. Here are Rabbi Brenner Glickman and Rabbi Michael Sheffrin. And I don't have to tell you who's on the right and the left, you all know. Here they are on the bema in front of our beautiful ark doors. This photo was taken shortly after Rabbi Shefrin was hired as assistant rabbi in 2016. Rabbi Shefrin is now associate rabbi. Rabbi Glickman is our senior rabbi. As we celebrate 65 years in 2021, 4 other local synagogues have reason to celebrate in 2021 too. Temple Bethel Northport turns 45 in 2021. Temple Sinai turns 30 in 2021. Congregation for Humanistic Judaism turns 25 in 2021. Chabad of West Bradenton turns 5 in 2021. Sarasota is a great place to live and growing fast. Now we are looking at Rabbi Luke Skywalker Shefrin and Senior Rabbi Glickman accepting an Academy Award at the Purim celebration on March 7th, 2020. Less than 1 year ago, we were gathered as a big group inside our sanctuary, laughing, singing, and making noises with our Gregors. Meanwhile, we have had many Zoom programs which have enhanced participation by temple members who are not in Sarasota. Hopefully, we can all be together in person inside our temple in big groups again very soon. Here are Rabbi Brenner Glickman and Rabbi Michael Shefrin in October 2019, greeting new members at the annual New Member Sukkot Meet and Greet. Temple Emmanuel is a very welcoming temple. Our rabbis, members, teachers, and staff are friendly and eager to meet and greet everyone who comes to our temple. Temple Emmanuel is like a family who cares about each other and wants to stay in touch. There are activities for all age groups, from Tot Shabbat events to Temple Emmanuel elder gatherings. Here are the 3 wonderful rabbis who inspire, teach, and care about us. Rabbi Elaine Rose Glickman, Rabbi Brenner Glickman, and Rabbi Michael Shefrin in June 2019 at the Blessing of the Animals. The school building in the background is home to the religious school and the Susan Schwade Early Learning Center. This building, originally built in 1979, had extensive environmentally responsible renovation in 2016 that included more office space, upgrades to the kitchen, and the installation of solar panels that allow 75% of our campus to be powered by the sun. This is a 2013 photo of Pauline Schoenberg and me, Kim Scheintel. Pauline was in the first photo of the Lido Beach Casino. Pauline has been a Temple Emmanuel member for over 50 years. On January 22nd, Temple Emmanuel will have a new and 25-year-plus member Shabbat chaired by Barbara Gerber to honor all of the members who have been Temple members 25 years or more and all of the members who joined in 2020. Temple President Barry Gerber calls these new members the class of 2020. There is not enough time to mention each person, each event, each story, and each item so dear to us. Each is important and special. Temple Emmanuel has celebrated several milestones in a big way, such as the 10th anniversary dinner dance at the Far Horizons, the 25th anniversary Silver Ball at Temple Emmanuel Sudikoff Hall, the 45th anniversary celebration at Temple Emmanuel Sudikoff Hall, the 50th Jubilee at Michael's on East, and the 60th anniversary at Temple Emmanuel Benderson Hall. But today we are celebrating the 65th year via Zoom. Temple Emmanuel has lots more planned in the future. There is at least one event happening each day on the temple calendar in the week ahead. There is Lunch with the Rabbi on January 6th, Israel Politics on January 7th, Shabbat services on January 8th, Todd and Young Families Drive-In Havdalah for our younger members at 4:30 on January 9th, a Torah study on January 9th in the morning, Havdalah on January 9th in the evening, movie discussion on January 10th in the morning, team trivia on January 10th in the evening, and the Temple Emmanuel Social Hour on January 11th. I hope today's 65th celebration is the first of many more times to celebrate Temple Emmanuel in 2021. I hope we can eat cake together later this year. This concludes the formal presentation and slideshow. We welcome any comments or questions. As a reminder, the chat function has been disabled. For questions or comments, we ask that you raise your hand physically or electronically. You will need to unmute yourself to speak, and then please mute yourself again when you are done speaking.
Kim, that was phenomenal.
I loved it. I love learning all this stuff, and I love everybody in here. So
Fabulous, just wonderful. Thank you.
I'll Bob call on people who have any questions or comments.
Kim, I just want to say, as a fairly new member, this was really a wonderful journey. And I really learned so much about the history of Sarasota Jews and also about Temple Emmanuel. You did a wonderful, wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you.
You did a great job, Kim. It's just wonderful. Thank you so much. Even though I've been a member off and on for almost 30 some years, you put it all together and you explained it so well and spoke so beautifully. The pictures are great. Thank you so much for the privilege of doing this tonight. Thank you for doing it.
Looked like Barbara Peltz had her hand up.
I want to second that, third that, fourth that. I want to thank you, Kim, for all your hard work. Love the pictures, the narrative.
You're breaking up, Barbara.
I would like to say how much I enjoyed it. It was really so professionally done and so enjoyable. I thank you very much.
Does it tell her?
I don't know if they heard that, but.
I see Jacob's iPad. There's a hand up, and I don't know who it's on Jacob's iPad.
Beautiful.
Maybe I was supposed to raise my hand.
All right, I'm going to ask you to unmute.
Hello. Oh, it has been?
Yeah. You have to raise your hand if you want to.
Oh, no, I don't want to, I just want to send.
Hi,
Carol Friedman has her hand up.
yeah, I want to thank the beautiful tour that we had, that Kim did. It was fantastic. And just the fact that she was so happy doing it made it more special. And just want to mention our granddaughter, Chelsea, was Bat Mitzvah at the temple and went 4 years. And because of her, I've been a member for, I'd say, about 8 years now. And we continue and we love it here. And here is our picture that we have in our house that we keep all the time of the rabbi. I just need another one to put in with Rabbi Elaine.
You know, Carol, I took that photo.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, I made it and I framed it. Right. All right. Thank you, Kim. Thank you. And
Kim, Gail Levitt had her hand up electronically.
right. Thank you for the teamwork.
Judy Levy.
Kim, thank you so much. Everything you do is amazing. And this was just another wonderful presentation. We can learn so much from you. And you're just a wealth of knowledge. And thank you for all that you do for the temple.
Well, thank you. You know, I just wanted to say, if it wasn't for Barbara Peltz coming up with this idea, you wouldn't have had this evening. And I can't thank Barbara enough for thinking of this.
There's our youngest temple member sitting with Rabbi Sheffrin.
Where's Jacob?
Jacob, will you say happy birthday to Temple Emmanuel?
Happy birthday.
Say thank you to Kim.
I remember when he was born.
I'm looking for more hands.
Phyllis Dreyfus has her hand up.
Yep. 2 hands. All right, Phyllis.
Kim, I have to thank you for probably bringing the highest percentage of family members into this congregation through the years. I don't know if you sent them checks. I don't know what you did, but I wish in some of my mojo and everybody else's work, you are the best. And you know, I so appreciate how you integrated it. Great.
Well, I have to find out if there's a family discount.
Oh, I didn't mean that. Love it. Thank you.
All right. And Gail Levitt has her hand up, and then it's either Barry or Judy Furman has there. So let's start with Gail. Gail Levitt.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm not sure if I'm using a different device. My laptop wasn't working
We
properly.
can hear you just fine.
I just wanted to thank Kim. You taught me a lot about the temple that I didn't know about. It was wonderful. And
How, you know, so many people are leaving and they're supposed to take the test after this to see how much they were paying attention.
they're supposed to what?
Take a test to see how much you were paying attention.
Oh, is that? Oh, oh, gee, my hearing aid just died. I won't be able to hear you.
Yeah. All right, Barry and Judy, one of you wanted to comment or question?
You know, I might have commented earlier, but I hadn't raised my hand. Just want you to know I was sitting and watching the important Georgia vote and stuff, but there was nothing more important than this. And it was so worthwhile. I can't believe how professionally this was done. And it was so enjoyable. I thank you so much.
Okay, I saw Alice Cotman's hand, then I see Rabbi Elaine's hand.
I can't see.
Kim, of course, this was fantastic, as it always is, any presentation you do. But tell me, where did you find all these photos? And were these in your house? Do you have 20 million photo albums somewhere?
Well, some of it is in the archives in the temple library, right at the temple. And some of it, when I was writing the book about the history of the Jews of Sarasota, Manatee, I tried really hard to get photos just of Temple Emmanuel, and I put those off to the side.
Well, it was great. Absolutely great. Thank you, Kim.
I could take a pass.
Rabbi Elaine.
So wonderful. I just wanted to say thank you so much to Kim and to Barbara for this idea and everyone who made it possible. And this is coming from my husband and me. He had to hop off about 20 minutes ago to officiate a Zoom Shiva Minyan, but he wanted me to say how much he loved it also. And Kim, you are such a gem and just did such a beautiful job capturing just so much about what makes Temple Emmanuel so special, about our history. And with you and everybody else at this call, we are so excited for the next 65 years. Thank you all. And thank you so much, Kim and Barbara, for the idea.
When he comes home, you can tell him we recorded this so he can watch the rest.
He's in the next room. So yeah, he will. He's, yeah, because it's all via Zoom, but yes, we'll pop some popcorn and watch it together.
Thank you.
I'm looking for other hands. Diane, did you raise your hand?
Want to raise your hand? You want to raise your hand? You don't want to?
Oh, I did.
All right, Diane, you're muted. Diane, I'm gonna invite you to unmute. And somebody else is talking among themselves. I'm gonna try and get you.
Okay. I wanted to congratulate Kim on a fantastic job, and I'm waiting for your next book to come out with details that you've told us, because they were so interesting. So about this, about Temple Emmanuel. So thank you.
Fran Darby has her hand up. Fran, you're muted. I'm going to invite you to unmute.
Fran has been a member longer than anyone else here today.
Well, you brought back a lot of memories to me today. Thank you so much for the beautiful job you did.
Thank you.
Marion Robb, I briefly saw your hand.
There's a different Ellen that has her hand up.
Kim, I found a book while you were talking that is from 1978. It was an ad booklet for the temple. It was a fundraising. President at the time, it says presidents of the temple, Joseph Leonard was the first one.
Ah, so that's a vote for him.
Yeah.
And what year was that?
This was from 1978.
Such a mystery.
And the other thing I also in this book, I have some information. The temple used to have their high holidays at Van Wezel.
That's right.
And that was for several years. And there were some pictures in this book that I have that they would bring, the several things from the temple, including that big menorah, not the one that was like 5 feet tall. So they would bring that to set on the stage at Ben Wazel, along with the Torahs. So that was fun.
Interesting. Thank you for telling me.
And
Ellen
Zippin has her hand.
I just wanted to tell you, Kim, that as a history teacher, I know how difficult it is to have a lot of dates and a lot of facts and keep your audience's interest. And it is amazing how well you did that. So cheers to you.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
happy
you.
New Year presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Emily Weil is in here today. She actually went to the religious school when she was a little girl.
Kim, I saw Steve Simons, I think, has his hand raised, and Ellen Klein. Steve Simons?
Yeah, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Feedback,
fascinated.
Devices.
I'm fascinated by the history of
Steve,
the temple.
can you mute one of the devices that's in the room with you?
Oh,
it's
that would
back,
be
creating a
Judy.
feedback loop.
That would be Judy. Hold on. Is it muted?
No, we're getting tremendous feedback. Audio feedback.
All right. I'll turn mine off. Hold on.
All right.
Okay. Are we good? No.
No.
I'm sorry. All right. Well, then I'll pass.
All right,
I
Ellen.
just wanted to say how fascinated I am by the history of this temple. I had no idea that it was
I
so
just wanted to say
historic.
that the whole presentation was done with such love and joy that something that could be boring was just filled with detail and interesting facts. And it's a tribute to Kim, but also to the temple and its vitality. So thank you, Kim, for showing it in such good light.
And, I remember Rabbi Richard Klein so much when I was giving the talk. I thought about him so much while I was doing this.
Thank you, Kim.
And, Rabbi Michael Sheffrin has his hand up.
Thank you. I also see that Rabbi Brenner Glickman has returned and has his hand up. Kim, I have to tell you, there was a moment where I was like filled with those joyful tears. It's been so hard to be away from temple and know how empty our sanctuary is. But seeing that photo of the sanctuary completely gutted made me feel like it felt less empty. I'd never seen that photo before. That was striking to see the sanctuary so empty, and then to know what it's like filled with these wonderful souls that are here tonight and our friends and family who come to visit, and the pews and the prayer books and all of the things that you named. It brought me like a tear of fulfillment in a moment where it feels really far away. So not only did I learn a ton and enjoy all this, but it also touched my neshama personally, and thank you again for all, and Bob for helping, and Barbara for the inspiration, and all who participated. Thank you.
Rabbi Brenner Glickman.
Well, I wanted to point out something from a slide. Bob, would you be willing to share a slide? Is that too much?
No, I can do that. You just have to let me.
It's the picture of the building, you showed the empty land and then the picture of the building, but why he's pulling that up, I just want to say thank you, Kim. That was so fantastic. And just like everyone said, you brought it to life in the best ways. And your charm just bursts out. And I would want to hear that. Oh, that was the one.
Yep.
Yeah, you had it. No, not this one. The one that has the exterior. Or actually, you could go, I think one after. No, back there. This one. Okay, so before you look at this for a moment, I want to ask everyone to just for a moment, imagine yourself walking out of the sanctuary. Okay, services just end. There's a little bit of a line to get out of the sanctuary, but you're walking out of the sanctuary. You go underneath the stained glass window. There's a line to get into the social hall. A few people are breaking out of the line to go to the gift shop or the bathroom. But you're in that line, you're walking out of the sanctuary. You finally made it out of the sanctuary doors. There's a women's room is on your right. You're heading into the social hall, and all of a sudden, boop, you got to look out because there's this narrow little column right in middle of the walkway. there's this little column, and you're thinking, what architect, what crazy masochist, I mean, sadistic mind takes the walkway where you would go right from the sanctuary into the social hall and puts this column that people would walk into and occasionally did. And the answer to that question is in this picture. There's the column that's in the middle of our lobby. Well, not just the middle of our lobby, but in the sort of the near the sanctuary entrance and the social hall entrance. There's the column that sits there. Why is it there? It used to be an exterior outside the building column that held the roof extension portico that, there you go, thanks, Bob, that, you know, that would stop the rain so you could stand outside the front door. Now, if you, next time we're all in the temple, you'll see that column and you'll look up and you'll see that the lobby, which is a low roof lobby, has one area right at that column that it's got a very high ceiling and glass, because that same architecture where it comes to a point there still exists. It's like a vestige of the previous entrance. And now we have this whole lobby and gift shop and library, and of course, you know, the social hall. All of that has been added since this picture, since the building was, but that's why you have a column in the middle of the lobby.
Now go a few more pictures down where they're in the lobby, where they're like getting name tags, a few more down, and you'll see the pole in one of my pictures. Wait, keep going.
The pole there. You know the pole.
Keep going. Keep going. There's the pole.
That's the pole I was talking about. You're right. She's got the pole right behind her. We made the pole a little thicker because they didn't want a bare pole when about 5 years ago they put plaster around it. But that pole is still there, but now it's inside and has no business being there. But it has to be there because it's holding up part of the roof. Anyway, I just wanted to share that tidbit.
I'm looking for other hands.
I don't,
Barry,
where is the
Barry
where is
Gerber.
the pole? Where is the pole? I don't remember seeing a pole there.
You know where the TV is that shows upcoming events?
Yes.
There's a column, a pole. It's still there.
We should put a plaque on it.
Oh, yes, I do remember it.
And you walk around it without thinking because
That's
you've
right,
done it for
that's
20
right.
years.
Yeah.
Alice, it's right after where they have the name badges.
Yes. Boy, oh boy, I totally missed that one.
Because you're always walking to the gift shop.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, you don't walk into it like I've seen some people.
I know.
You know, what I'm trying to figure out is what year we got the gift shop. I don't know. I wasn't able to find out.
All right, Barry Gerber.
You know, Kim, what I wanted to say and to the group is that, you know, you do such a great job, and the value that I found, you know, this evening is that you were able to weave in information about how our lay leadership and rabbinical leadership have been part of the ELC and the religious school for 65 years. I mean, the number of people that you indicated that actually taught, you know, whether it was volunteers or paid employees, that, you know, again, the temple is who it is today, but it's more than just a sanctuary. It is the early learning center. It's the religious school. You know, it's all the components that make up Temple Emanu-El. And I tell you, your ability to be able to project this, and even, you know, this is not the first time I've heard you speak. You know, you've done a great job in your genealogy presentations that you give across the entire county. So job well done. Toda Rabah.
Well, thank you. And you know what? I wanted to be able to say thank you to so many people that I couldn't say. Like I wanted to mention more about the social action. I wanted to mention more about adult ed. There's so many committees that are doing so much. And I wanted to talk about you, our president, more. I just feel bad that I slighted people But I love you all. I just wanted to say that. And if I didn't give proper credit to everybody, it was because I didn't have time, or maybe I forgot.
Seeing a lot of applause, a lot of people clapping.
Paula Hayden has her hand up.
Paula, I'm trying to find you. You have to unmute.
Yeah. Kim, you are a gift to the temple, and your presentation shows the vibrancy that the temple has had within itself and Sarasota. I am hoping that we show this to the new members and to the confirmation class, if not the older students in our religious school, just to show the importance and the lifeline of Jewish life.
Yeah, a good idea. Thank you.
Bob, can I say something? Am I cutting somebody off? It's Ethel.
No, I just couldn't find Ethel. Sure, go ahead.
So since I've joined Temple about 9 or 10 years ago, Kim has been there through thick and thin. She is the first person that people see just about every Friday night when they come to services. And just as Rabbi Brenner spoke about that pole holding up, being the backbone and holding up the temple, well, Kim, that's how I feel about you at Temple, because if it weren't for you, many of us wouldn't be members today. So thank you.
Oh, Ethel, thank you so much, Ethel.
I'd like to say something also. When I was in the process of joining the temple, I remember when Kim called me and made me feel very welcome, and I really appreciated that. But now you can have a second project, Kim. I know you're very, very busy. Now you should write a book about the history of Temple Emmanuel for everybody to share, because it was so great tonight.
Thank you.
A lot of people.
I'm not seeing other hands right now. Any last comments or questions?
Can we get the book?
Oh.
Kim, where can we get the first book that you wrote?
The gift shop.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah. Judy Lee Stern, did you have your hand up? And you're muted. I'm asking you to unmute. You're muted right now. Judy, you're still. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I thought that some people in the audience would have funny stories to tell about things that happened during the last 20 years, 25 years, 30 years. Kim, you should have something funny.
I have one funny story. One of my grandsons likes to go to the gift shop because he knows where the chocolate gelt is hidden all year.
I have a funny thing. Kim, when you were talking about all the beautiful renovations and all of the, how the religious school and the preschool and the Susan Schwade Early Learning Center, I thought you were going to talk about one of the major points of the renovation was that in each classroom now, there are little tiny baby toilets for little tiny preschool kids. And I think that's just, it's one of my favorite things to show when giving a tour, I have to be honest.
That's good. I forgot about those.
And just one last, oh wait, Howie and Sandy. The Goldbergs, you have to unmute.
Okay, the one thing that I was really wondering about is one of the things that really has always attracted me to Temple Emmanuel, in addition to what's already been mentioned tonight, is its strong musical complement. And I can't think of anything better than what we have going right now. But I was wondering if Kim could maybe talk a little bit about early Cantors and what we've had at Emmanuel. You
Okay,
mentioned
well,
one-
I do know that the first music director was Beatrice Laurie in 1961. Another music director was Lillian Kohler, Doug Leidenheimer, Margaret Peg Harris Smith. And the choir was formed November 2nd, 1975. And then in 1990, it was Ann Stevenson Moe. And then Cynthia Roberts Green started in October 1996. That's all the notes I have on the choir. I know we had tried at one time to move the choir so they would be in the front rows instead of the first two pews being people from, you know, the temple. They tried to move the choir up to the first pews, but we didn't like that. I don't think we've ever had a cantor.
We've had cantor soloists a couple times.
Cantor soloist, but not a paid cantor.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad somebody asked a question where I could refer back to my notes. So thank you, Howie.
I have one question for you. When did people stop dressing? Oh my gosh, some of those pictures was amazing how they looked.
They weren't on Zoom.
Yeah, exactly.
No, the styles have just gotten more casual.
So casual.
Social events, they weren't service.
I have to say goodnight on behalf of Risa and I. I also would like to mention that we've only been members for 2 years, but to hear about the past 63 years when we were not here was quite an achievement. And really kudos to you all for whoever helped you or on your own, whatever. It was a fantastic job, great editing, nice narrative, and it really came together. So thank you for doing so. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you. I like hearing that from a new member.
That definitely means Herb and Ellen Lank, who played a huge role in our history as well.
You know, I've got to tell you, the best part of doing this whole presentation was talking to some of the members that have been around our temple for so long. I talked to Herb Lank. He's over 100. I talked to Marjorie Sherberg. She's over 100. I talked to Fran Guberman. She's over 100. I talked to Marvin Gross, who's in his 90s. I talked to Pauline Schobergs in the 90s. Every one of those people was point on and gave me so much of the information that I put in this presentation. That was the most fun I had, was talking to those people.
Rabbi Elaine has her hand.
I also talked to Fran Shapiro Darby, who also told me to call up Joan Franzel, the historian, who had information. I mean, just talking to the people was a blast. I absolutely loved talking to the people together.
I saw Rabbi Elaine's hand and then Carol Friedman.
On behalf of my husband and probably Rabbi Shepron, he just asked me to remind everyone who wants to continue to talk and to be together and to feel about how wonderful this event was to come to lunch with the rabbis tomorrow at noon.
Kim, can you just put the picture of the cake on the screen one more time?
Okay.
I'm working on it. Give me a second.
I could not have done this without Bob moving around the pictures, I'll tell you that.
You know,
As much
Kimmy,
as
I was
know
just
about the temple, that's as much as I don't know about Zooming.
You know, Kimmy, I was just sitting here thinking, all these stories you told, how much joy I've seen you have over the years with the temple, but how many people, as you look through here, how many people over the years were touched? How many people, this was the central part of their life? You know, it's so poignant now that you can't be there. It's just incredibly moving, I think, in this context.
Thank you, Lizzie.
Yes, I agree with you. I mean, I'm just seeing Kim there. It's just perfect that you are part of this 65 years. It's just
well, you know, I've been going to the temple for 50 years now.
Oh wow. So you know what, we really need a temple Emmanuel 50-year cake for you.
And Barry and Judy Furman raised their hand.
Oh, Bob, could you put the cake back up and then could everybody smile and wave? I want to take a picture.
All right, hang on a second.
Thank you. The cake was a nice picture. And if everybody could just smile and wave on the count of 3, Echad, Shtaim, Shalosh, Temple Emmanuel.
Hey.
Thank you. That's great.
That was great.
Oh, that's lovely.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like I don't want this to end. I just could
All
like
right, so
talk about
Furman's,
temple.
Barry and Judy, I know you had your hand up. I can't find you. You may be muted.
Oh, I didn't get it.
Okay. There was a member who held up a book of the Ark on the cover. And I noticed above the Ark, it had that Hebrew writing that we have, etc. Can I just see that picture again? Who held up the book? Remember the book that had the cover showing the Ark?
All right. Are you talking about?
Marion Raup that has the book.
Is that member still on?
Marion Raup.
I don't see her.
No, she's not on anymore. Okay.
I love this.
Cat that swallowed the mouse that ate the rat.
Oh, we only have 40.
But you can contact Marion.
Right.
Marion
No.
would have it. She's the head of the ritual committee.
I was just curious because Rabbi Sheffrin and I showed him once that one of the yuds, this silly thing, one of the yuds in the Hebrew statement is crooked. And when I saw her hold up the book, for a second, it didn't look crooked. I was curious to know what it looked like in 1978. That's all it was.
I'm looking for more hands.
Linda Kleinman, do you know if Ron knows if that yud was crooked when it was already done? You're muted.
I'm sure he did not notice that. It's too bad we didn't know sooner. Could be
No,
made
it
silly
may
fix.
be deliberately crooked.
I think
Rabbi Sheffrin and I both looked at it, and perhaps it's designed that way. We weren't sure.
I think when it was renovated, the person who actually did the work took what was there and modified, put the modifications so that he copied what was there. So if it was wrong then, he copied it the way it was.
And I purposely don't show it to people because once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Well, I think you're not supposed to have things perfect, are we?
Amen. Everything should be left a little bit undone. That's right.
I just thought of another memory. Remember, I thought of another memory, the days the toilets were overflowing and we were at services and no one could use the bathrooms.
Yes.
Does everybody remember that one?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Doing the scan, I think that we've probably covered it. Oh, wait. I just saw a hand.
Somebody has their hand up.
Judy Lee.
Me.
Linda, I don't know what the last name is.
Hyman.
Hyman.
I just wanted to say, as you all have said, that it was a wonderful presentation, but I missed one thing. The Benderson Hall was mentioned, but should we not give a little bit more appreciation to the wonderful improvements that the Benderson family made?
Good point. Very good point. And they're so low key about it because I remember when we had the dedication, we even had to talk them into doing a dedication when we were dedicating the Benderson Family Hall. They're so low key like that, but they're so important to everything around the temple, helping with the lawn maintenance and getting us the architect and helping put together the buildings and donating the money for the social hall, and on and on and on.
And the landscaping.
Right.
I was hesitant to say anything earlier because I suspected maybe they had asked not to be pointed out, but I did it anyway.
Well, thank you.
I was disappointed. The people who first designed that or had it built, I think their name was, you said Sudowski or something?
Sudakov.
Sudakov. And I was actually disappointed to hear that it's now Benderson Hall and the Sudakovs, we don't have that memory of them anymore. It was rechanged to Benderson Hall. I was disappointed for the Sudakovs that their name is no longer there. Personally, I just felt that way. That's all.
Felt that way too.
All right.
Recognize them today anyway. I tried.
Barbara Gerber. Barbara Gerber has her hand up, and you have to unmute, Barbara. Barbara, you're muted. I'm going to invite there. Barbara, if you're on an iPad, there should just be a microphone icon down yeah, you're good. You're good. You're unmuted.
Kim, thank you. And I just want to reiterate what other people have said. Truly, you are the impetus for the amount of happy people and new members that we get every single year. When we enter the temple doors, there you are. When we leave the temple, there you are. You're greeting, you're handing out name badges, you're making sure that new members are spoken to, you're making sure that lonely people are not sitting by themselves. I mean, you are just the epitome of what membership means. And we would not be the wonderful, loving, welcoming temple we are without you. And so I just want to pay tribute to you as the person, you as the historian, and you as the chair of membership. Thank you.
Well,
for
thank you,
everything
Barbara. But you know what? When you're there, I send the people to talk to you. Because I always thought you were so nice to all the new members. I send them to you when I see them. I know who to send them to.
Well, thank you. Mutual admiration. Yes.
I think we've covered all the hands. Kim, outstanding job.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Great job, and we love you, Kim.
Thank you.